and welcome to another delicious episode of Trenny and C.
Welcome.
Everybody knows Trenny. I'm C. Today we have the Highland Park 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Trenny and C, drinking whiskey, describing all the flavors for you and me. Irish, Scotch, bourbon, and rye. If they like a bottle, they'll tell you why.
Another delicious bottle for us to sample here.
Mighty fine whiskey, this one. Highland Park, as you may or may not know, is a Scotch, so it's from Scotland. It's a single malt whiskey, which basically means when you say single malt, is it has to come from a single distillery, and it is made of 100% malted barley, which is the difference between, say, bourbon and Scotch, where they can use 51% corn and other grains, where single malt, it's a single grain of malted barley. So that's kind of the difference there.
Beauty. So again, just having a look, we'll be going through our scale, color, nose, taste, finish, and viscosity. So to start with color,
Yep.
it's more of that orange color in the bottle. I think when it comes out, you'll see it's a little bit lighter when it hits the glass.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I got to say about that is usually orange is an indication that there has been an extra colorant added. I'm not guaranteeing that it has, but usually that's kind of a telltale sign when it's kind of got that. It's almost like it's gone to a tanning bed, and it's the same kind of difference. It's an unnatural tan. This doesn't look too bad, but anyway. Also, because it's been aged in Oloroso sherry barrels, it's going to have a little bit deeper, richer of a color compared to something from, say, Isla, which is very peated whiskeys, and they're usually aged in bourbon barrels. It's going to be a lighter color.
But once it gets into your glass, I notice it's more of a golden color, almost like the color of a lager, a beer. You know,
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so on the nose, I get instantly the kind of honey and this toffee smoke kind of thing going on. A little bit of brine to it, like seawater. So Highland Park is made on the Orkney Islands, and it's just blasted by heavy sea winds all day, all night kind of thing. So
I get a tobacco kind of a smell to it.
Yeah.
And just a light peat note there.
Light peat. There's definitely a sweetness to it too. A lot of people have described Highland Park as encompassing everything that there is about Scotch. So it's got a bit of the Speyside sort of sherry honey notes to it. It's got a little bit of the smoky peatiness of Isla and the islands. And because it's Highland Park, it's got those kind of herby Highland notes that, say, like Glengarry has. Anyway, that's just the nose, so let's move on to the taste.
Shut up already and drink it. I'm instantly hit by how sweet it is. In a positive way.
Yeah, it's delicious stuff. Again, that kind of toffee with smoke, peatiness.
Yeah, it's got everything's kind of like in a mild way. It's got a mild smoke, a mild peat.
Yeah.
A good sweetness. It's got a good balance.
Yeah, you can say it's well balanced.
It's almost like for somebody that's kind of just getting into Scotch, this is a good Scotch to try because it doesn't overpower you with any one particular flavor, and if you're maybe not into the smoke or you're maybe not into the peat or whatever that is, you don't get blasted with it.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've tried Glenlivet and you're wanting to move on to something a little bit more challenging, I guess, not too much, but a little bit more, this is definitely a good place to start. Anyway, so more on the flavor, I do always get like this leather, kind of old leather, or maybe even new leather, but in a smoky room kind of thing. I can just picture
new shoes coming out of the box.
Yeah.
In a smoke lounge.
Exactly.
New leather shoes.
It's perfect. They're great smell.
while you're wearing a really nice belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smoking.
So now it being 12 years old, one thing that you should know that when Scotch in Scotland specifically has an age statement on it, like 12 years, that means the youngest possible whiskey is going to be 12 years old. So there could be 15 and up in here. I mean, maybe unlikely, but a lot of the time there can be. So 12 years old, keep in mind, 12 years old is relatively old in the sense that it's soaking into that those casks, and that oak influence is getting in there. So that's maybe where that leather, woody, kind of tobacco-y flavor comes from.
And we're going to start seeing a lot less of the age statements on bottles.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that a lot of these distilleries haven't been able to, or they weren't able to predict 12 years ago that there would be this boom in whiskey. And
yeah, the supply versus demand is getting outweighed. The scales are being outweighed right now. So,
and you can see that on a lot of bottles when you look on the shelf. It's starting to become harder to find an age statement.
Exactly, like they have the Highland Park Origins series, and like I can't remember the name of it right now, but a Viking series. So they have Freya and Valhalla and all these Viking names, but there's no age statements on them. So kind of take them for what they are. I'm sure a lot of them are absolutely delicious, but kind of buyer beware.
Okay, where did we get lost? We're on finish now.
Okay, finish. So I personally get in the finish. Let me just try one more time.
So I'll start then, since you're busy. This is where I taste the oak part of it. I taste the oak on the finish. Like, you can still get, the smoke and the peat, but this is where I find like a more of the impact of the oak coming out.
Yeah, I can see that. I kind of get like on the aftertaste. It is pretty long, and it's sweet and smoky. Then it dries, kind of like one of those wine dipped cigars. Anyway, that's kind of what I get out of the finish there. And as for the viscosity, I mean, it's pretty, again, a well-balanced whiskey in general, so it's not too light. The mouthfeel isn't really watery, and it's not too oily either, but it's kind of right, a medium in between balance for what I get.
For me, I find that it is a bit light. Like it is pretty light, so that's where the viscosity is kind of low there for me.
Yeah. Either way, I would highly suggest go get yourself a bottle of Highland Park 12-year-old. Especially if you haven't really gotten into Scotch, it's a great place to start. Well, for some reason, I've bought many bottles in my time of Highland Park 12 years old, and this one specifically, I think, is above and beyond some of the others I've had.
And we were looking for a barrel number or something on here.
Yeah.
It's a bottle number.
It's a good
Find
one.
another one just like it.
Yeah. Anyway, cheers.
So our scale. We've
Okay,
come
right.
with our score here. So obviously we input our score into our scale before we do the video here, and then so Trenny does a score anonymously. I do one anonymously. We put them together and come up with an average.
Yeah.
Obviously, a perfect score, as everyone knows, based on our CNTFB
The cut of the scale
is 33.3%.
Yeah.
Or 33.33 points.
Yeah, that's the max that you can do. So I gave this one a 24.08, where C here gave it a 25.33.
I like it.
And so the average there ends up being a 24.7 out of 33.33333. I'd say that's a pretty
good score.
That's a pretty good score.
Good score. And it's delicious.
I like it. It's delicious stuff. Get yourself while you can. They keep jacking the prices up of scotches, even though this is readily available and you can probably get this almost anywhere in the world. Here in Canada, and specifically BC, they tax the crap out of you, and you pay a lot of money for
Get it while you can.
Yeah. So, anyways, cheers to that.
Enjoy.
Mm-hmm.